Hey there, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We have an investor update for you from Trace Orthopedics. Throughout the session, if you have any questions, feel free to put those in our chat box, and we'll be running a poll at the end as well to gauge your interest in further follow-ups. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and pass it off to Adam from Trace.
Thanks, Shane. Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you all to the Trace Investor Update. This is the second update that we did in a month, so there's even some updates this evening. And yeah, on the agenda is progress report on Trace Orthopedics, next steps, and our funding plan, which does still include the new incentives for investors that we announced a month ago. You'll hear from company principals plus some newly onboarded advisors as well. So I'm Adam Greenspan. I'm CEO. I'm going to give you a quick refresher here. So my co-founder is Dr. Bill Morrison. He's our medical director, and the third member of our board is Paul Janeski. He's acting chairman. So Trace Orthopedics is commercializing novel solutions for tendon attachment with an early focus on repairing partial tears in an outpatient setting. Our first product is a percutaneous tendon fastener system seen in the rendering pictured here. It's from a video animation. I'm going to play that shortly. Our Series A investment round is still active. It's led by the angel investor group Kretsu Forum, specifically the chapter out of the Mid-Atlantic region. And as of today, we have just over 400,000 still open in our Series A financing. All right, so I'm just going to pull in this video file just to run real quick.
Our device repairs tendon tears through a needle without a visit to the operating room. Here, the tendon is torn and pulled away from the bone. The surgeon inserts a needle containing the device. The device is composed of two parts, a coil which grabs the tissue, and an anchor which implants the tendon into the bone. The entire procedure is accomplished with local anesthetic and mild sedation, and can be performed in a doctor's office or in an imaging suite in about 20 minutes.
So we've come a long way from the prototypes originally fashioned by Dr. Morrison in his garage. So we've taken the implants and we've developed and tested with a consulting engineer, a mechanical engineer, Ben Arkan, who is one of our consulting advisors. So we took those implants that were designed and tested with Ben over to an engineering contractor firm, Nagel MedTech. We established product specifications according to design inputs that were provided mainly by Dr. Morrison, and then we brought the entire fastener implant development program under design control, and then specifically with Nagel MedTech, we developed a companion delivery system for the minimally invasive percutaneous approach. And so we manufactured prototype units that we optimized designs through multiple iterations. And this one pictured right here on the top right that passed our design review, and we produced some units for testing in cadavers, and then we did pilot animal testing for the fastener implants. And yeah, the latest is that so we placed an order for an updated design that was based on user feedback, specifically to impart better connectivity between the implant and the needle driver pictured here, so that it can stick when it's inverted upside down. So we're waiting on those orders and designing a screwdriver corresponding to that. And we've also those are the screws that we're going to be using in our pivotal animal studies, and then also in the verification validation testing that we're going to be doing for our FDA clearance package. In addition, we developed some packaging trays for the product kits, also pictured here. And then we performed some critical testing. Namely, we evaluated the characteristics of the implant and the design features of the introducer in the cadaver labs. We did preliminary mechanical testing for standards for torque and fatigue, and then we did a cadaver lab at UPenn where we had fellows and faculty try out the Trace system, and then we went on to do preliminary testing in sheep shoulders at Colorado State University. That was a substantial milestone for us, as the Trace implants withstood nearly 700 pounds of force in pull-out strength testing, and the Trace implants were tolerated by all the animal subjects, and they showed less signs of less scar tissue than otherwise expected using this model. So, and then on the clinical side, so we've activated a network of clinical advisors. We formed a medical advisory board. We had 2 orthopedic surgeons join us early on, and then we're welcoming another orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Kevin Kaplan. He's not able to join us today. And we're also welcoming Dr. Adam Zoga from Thomas Jefferson University, who is a musculoskeletal radiologist focusing on intervention. So I see Dr. Zoga's on the line. So Adam, could you just give us a brief introduction and talk about some of the use cases that that we've discussed for the Trace Fastener system?
Sure, thanks, Adam. Appreciate it, and I'm thrilled to be a part of this this innovative company. So I've been doing orthopedic radiology or musculoskeletal radiology since 2002, and I spend my life treating patients with tendon injuries. And really we've had a limited armamentarium of what we can do to treat patients with tendon injury in the past. We do a ton of ultrasound guided injection, and at the same time we interpret a ton of post orthopedic surgery imaging. So as you can imagine, when a surgery goes very well, generally they don't send the patient back for more imaging. So I see the ones that don't go all that well. And just today I did more than 10 ultrasound guided injections, and it's been a long thought in the back of my head that, God, if I could just get something in there percutaneously without opening the without making an exposure and fix the tendon with ultrasound guidance, I think we'd really take a step forward in sports medicine. So really excited to see how this evolves. I do think that the product has a role in orthopedics, but I think it also has a role in radiology, because you don't need much of an exposure to get this thing in. And I think with an ultrasound probe and someone who's skilled at using the ultrasound probe, it can be placed perfectly and permanently. So thrilled to be here. Thanks, Adam.
Oh, Adam, thank you. Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah, and I'm just gonna continue on. So also in the clinical domain, so we've lined up a cohort of 15 sites for our alpha launch, and that's mainly leveraging Dr. Morson's network and namely musculoskeletal radiologists within that network. and then another 52 sites for subsequent expansion as we expand indications to treat additional injury types beyond the initial cases that we're going to focus on involving the gluteus medius at the hip. So yeah, fundraising. We to date we have raised over almost 1.5 million in total. So that spans two distinct groups. So we had a seed financing round under safe notes. Those safes convert into equity according to the terms of the Series A that we're in now. So we did 355,000 in safes, and then we opened a 1.5 million Series A financing, and we are, as of today, we are 1.08 million. So that's 1,080,000 subscribed, and then we have another 160,000 committed. So I see Paul is on the line. Paul, yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about Keiretsu Forum and the diligence process that kind of led to this round opening?
Sure, Adam, and thanks a lot. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and thank you to all the investors and prospective investors that are here today joining us. Keiretsu Forum Mid-Atlantic led the round and led due diligence. I actually led the due diligence effort on behalf of Keiretsu, and candidly didn't agree to become an investor until we went through due diligence satisfactorily. Now, for those of you who don't know much about Keiretsu Forum, that is one of the factors that distinguishes Keiretsu from many of the other angel groups in the country, is the level of due diligence that is performed. I'd like to think we had an all-star team of people that came together, including IP attorneys and medical device marketing executives, as well as people who led other orthopedic companies at varying times, CFOs of privately held companies. So we had a pretty high-level team of people that came together. Adam, I know that you can share that due diligence report with the folks here, so I don't know if you plan on putting a link up or that'll be shared later, but it's a 110-page document. It's incredibly thorough, and we were all very favorably impressed with Adam and Bill and the work that they've done. And quite honestly, I'm more bullish on the opportunity now than I was in the beginning. And seeing other orthopedic surgeons and interventional radiologists who would actually use this technology in their practice, and having them join the cap table and invest in the technology and in the company, I think says a lot for where we are. And equally impressed with the animal study that just was completed at Colorado State University, and the results that we saw against the predicate were really impressive. So I say this jokingly, but I mean it in sincerity. You know, what we're trying to do here, we're not trying to land a spacecraft on the surface of Mars. I mean, this is a very straightforward device. You've got two components that comprise the implant, and then you've got a delivery system, which is, you know, a needle, a 10-gauge needle, and a driver. This is not overtly complex, and we think it's very achievable, the goals that we have in place. So I hope that's helpful, Adam. I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the raise from investors or would-be investors down the road.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. And yeah, we'll circle back to that. But yeah, we're at a stage now where we're starting to wrap things up. We're in the third tranche. It was structured as 3 tranches of 500K a piece. We have the ability to overscribe up to 500K as well. So we're well into tranche 3 now. So we are, yeah, getting ready to wrap things up. So right now we're shifting our focus from product design to commercialization. So our current objective is getting the Trace Fastener product FDA cleared. So it involves a sequence of activities that includes preclinical animal testing, lab testing according to safety standards, and design verification and validation from the end user perspective. The immediate next step is preparing a request for a 510(k) pre-submission meeting, and then holding the meeting with the FDA examiner so that we can show and demonstrate alignment and consensus with respect to our plans and the end result that we're looking to achieve. So we're lucky. She's not here with us right now, but we have an amazing advisor consulting with us. Her name is Emily Meyering. She has years and several products under her belt, spanning a few different organizations, and she's already made a connection with respect to the animal site. So she was the one that brought us into the fold with Colorado State, with their veterinary school, where they essentially function as a capital efficient contract research organization that resides within the academic center. But then also with a specialty FDA regulatory consulting firm, Avio, that they have very cost-friendly hourly billable rates. And so we have a small team over there, and Emily is squarely involved in helping us to manage those efforts and keep on track. So we're really fortunate to have her involved and helping guide this program. So we've seen a lot of activity in our market segment, and yeah, we are really looking ahead and trying to build and prepare toward a future exit. So the funding that we've laid over the sequence of steps along our path to exit starts with FDA, or with the 510(k) clearance. That's what this capital raise, this $1.5 million Series A, that's going to get us our submission to, and that will be really the next value inflecting milestone for the company. And then we're going to prepare for commercialization. We're going to plan another capital raise. It'll be a $4 million B round. We're actually going to break it up so that we're going to do the first $1 million to get us through that alpha launch, and then and we really see an opportunity for early acquisition at both of those points, and so we've modeled that accordingly, but we've also made assumptions around the terms of future financing so that we could plan accordingly, and then also forecast what the return on investment would look like if we were to continue on with full capitalization and scaling the company and additional product lines and commercial efforts. So I included these two acquisition deal comps that we've seen in the last 12 months really as examples. There is a lot of activity. We're looking to engage strategic partners in deliberate ways. We recently went under NDA to explore potential collaboration with a major market player, and we're going to approach the others really at appropriate time points, namely following the FDA clearance submission. That's really what we've seen, is when there's an interest in looking at some of these some of the assets, such as what we're working on. So in order to do that, we know that we need additional expertise. So, you know, especially as we, you know, as we focus more on commercialization and commercial clinical adoption. So first off, we know we're going to fill out our board. There's 2 additional seats that are called for according to the Series A term sheet. So one is selected by the Series A participant investors, and then one is selected as an independent. So and then secondly, yeah, we also know that we, in order to get to this stage of institutional financing, we're going to need a seasoned CEO to take us there. And yeah, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to stay on board as a, you know, as right there along the way, pushing the operations as a, you know, as a chief commercial officer or chief operating officer. But yeah, we need somebody that they have a commercialization track record or a track record, you know, doing exit deals. And because ultimately that's what we want to do. I know that you know, we really want to give this company the best chance to have a premium exit. So my interest is really in line with the company, and so that's what, you know, that's what we realize that we need to take this company to the next level. But, you know, and for the near term, I am gonna stay on as CEO through this Series A round. So through the financing, and then through the runway as we, you know, as we continue and meet those milestones along.
Adam, do you mind if I jump?
Yeah, sure,
If
Paul.
you mind. Yeah, and just, you know, to make sure everyone understands the plan. You know, Adam is doing a great job, and he's exactly what we need right now, and has all the skills and capability to get us through FDA submission. And as we move into that alpha launch, that's where we'll start. And the hope would be right before FDA submission, we'll begin the search for a seasoned CEO. We obviously want someone who has expertise and experience in the orthopedic space, someone who's led companies through exits, and someone who has a great deal of commercialization experience. You know, that's what we need. And obviously the ability to raise that B round, should we not be taken out before that. We certainly will entertain that potential as we approach it. But as Adam said, he's not going anywhere. And you know, obviously we're all locked into the same goal, which is to exit the company at a time where it will make the most sense for our investors and for the team. So that's the hope. Just wanted to share that. So, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. So, and yeah, until that point comes, we're going to lean on, you know, on our team and our extended team. So that includes these consulting advisors, that includes our medical advisory board, and we have some spots to fill on the medical advisory board as well. So yeah, maybe another orthopedic surgeon, definitely some more interventional radiologists and pain management physicians as well, because you know, we want to make sure that you know, we're really able to go in pretty deep as it relates to the reimbursement and also referral pathways, because those are going to be the key adoption drivers for our product lines. So yeah, I want to share our plan for closing out the Series A right now. So yeah, as I mentioned, we had one of these update meetings about a month ago. So as of a month ago, we had 710,000 to close the Series A to get to that 1.5 million mark. So since then, we've subscribed 290,000. So we're 420,000 away from that target, and we do have another 160,000 committed right now. So our runway as of a month ago was right around 700,000 as well. And so we know the critical steps and laid them out on this table that we need in order to deliver success and be able to show that we have achieved what we're trying to do with this with these proceeds. We engaged 10 Capital here. They're hosting this call. We've engaged them. We're working with 10 Capital, wrapping up a campaign, and then we're also screening with a couple of angel groups and we're still in diligence and at various points with a couple groups. And yeah, we're also working through our network, existing investors, mainly at this point for potential referrals, but also sharing that there's another chance to participate. And here's what we're doing specifically in order to accelerate the Series A. We really want to just get, close out the round so that we can focus on completing those operating objectives that I just laid out. So we decided that we're going to offer these incentives around, mainly they're around the attached warrants. So with the Series A, there's coverage on the investment amount. A certain percentage is also gets added on as the opportunity to purchase additional shares for a period of time at this set price. So the original warrant tier, it was the warrant schedule, it was in tiers according to each tranche. So tranche 1 got 30% warrant coverage, tranche 2 20%, tranche 3 10%. So we bumped that up. So we added 10%. So right now we're in tranche 3, gets 20% coverage with respect to the warrants. And for a limited time, we are also offering the half price to exercise them, if that is if we're informed of that this month. So that's a chance to obtain additional equity at half price alongside the investment. That's really what most of the smart money is has gone for to this point. And so I've made it a priority to communicate that to all of our existing investors and those that are considering coming in at this point too. My own family included. So it's been appealing from what we've heard from a number of investors on that were already on our cap table, and has also brought in some additional participants. So I think that's really all we have to share. So I guess we can open it up for questions at this point. I know we have a pretty small group here, so yeah, if, we can just open it up if there's any questions. I'm not see a couple in the chat box. So yeah, is this a repeat? I guess Andrew is asking if this is a repeat. Yep. So mostly a repeat, except for where we're at with the fundraising progress.
And I'll jump in, Adam, and just, the whole intent here behind the incentives that we're offering is to try and get this round closed. We know what we need to do. And the funding that it's going to take to get us across the finish line here. So that's one of the keys that offering these additional incentives. And it's been very effective thus far. We've had quite a number of people take advantage of it. I just saw another question pop up. Adam, you might want to address that. It's
Okay. The length of the animal study for the implant. Yeah, that was, it was 18 weeks. I mean, sorry, 13 weeks.
And for the pivotal, what will it be for the pivotal, Adam?
And it'll be 26 week for the pivotal.
Pivotal. Got it. Question popped up about additional money. That's the warrant. Yeah, the commitment is the end of the month, the 31st. That would be it, right? Or do you need the funds in, or we accept the commitment?
Just the commitment. Yeah.
Just the commitment by the 31st. Okay. Yep. So Abathal, I believe you're the same person that we worked together at Bard many years ago when we were both a little younger. I think that's she may want to come off and respond to that, or she may not. But we're happy to have you. The ATI is an investment group that we're speaking to, correct, Adam?
Right. Yep. Arizona.
What do you think about the next question?
Yeah. Can you speak to user validation plan, Adam?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna work with the group. It's gonna start most likely with interventional radiologists, because that is going to be our indication is gonna be for partial tears and of the gluteus medius at the hip. So, and it's going to be done percutaneous approach. So those will be the users that will be calling on for validation.
And that includes the 15 sites that you had outlined earlier, including, I think it was Mayo and Jefferson and so on and so forth, correct?
Right.
I guess if there's no more questions from the group.
Well, again, we want to thank you all for joining. Still taking any more questions as we wrap up today. But yeah, it's been a great session. I want to thank Adam and Paul and Dr. Zoga all for coming out here today. Paul, thanks for your time as well. As always, looks like we don't have any further questions. Johnson's excited about the future. We are too. I think that'll pretty much wrap it up today. So again, I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening, and we'll see you next time. We'll have the recording available for everybody as well, so be on the lookout for that. If you are watching this recording, feel free to reach out with your questions as well, right to 10 or to Trace. So thank you again, and we'll close it out there.
Thank you
Bye,
all.
guys.